Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Negler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. It is Monday. I hope you all had a great weekend. I know I didn't, watching England lose, although it is a tradition unlike any other, so I should be used to it by now. Other than that, good weekend. I hope you all had a great time wherever you were, whatever you were doing. Unless, of course, you were attempting to watch the Copa America final down in Miami. Then you probably didn't have a great time. What a mess down there. Other than that, hey, we made it. And I know some certain type of person may be looking at the title of this video and going, we made it. He obviously means the release of the college football video game, NCAA 25. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about the fact that the Green Bay Packers report for training camp this week. That's right. Rookies report Wednesday, veterans report later in the week. We have finally made it. An off-season that is in our rear view is finally here. I know it's tough, man. We go through, the kind of the depression after a playoff loss, and then there's the kind of stretch right between some of the all-star games and the rev up to the combine, and then there's the long slog to the draft. And after the draft, you get some mini camp stuff, some OTAs, what have you. And then you finally get your break, and it's just a long-ass time before we get the Green Bay Packers back in Green Bay, ready to prepare for another season and hopefully another run at a Vince Lombardi trophy that they can bring back to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and put at 1265 Lombardi, and they can plant another tree in Harlem Plaza. It all starts this week on Wednesday when rookies report, and also quarterbacks. If you'll notice in the Green Bay Packers kind of coverage and or release of their off-season into training camp stuff, yes, Wednesday. Rookies and quarterbacks. I just would be remiss not to mention that Jordan Love plays the quarterback position, which means he is due in Green Bay on Wednesday. I did think there was a decent chance we'd get news of an extension sometime today. Could still happen. Maybe it happens while I'm live. Maybe it happens this evening. Maybe it happens tomorrow. But it's going to be very interesting if we don't get any word and Wednesday rolls around and Jordan either shows up or doesn't or what have you. I suspect he'll probably show up because a deal will be done, but a lot of ball game left. A lot of ball game left in that regard. Also, speaking of a lot of ball game left, this is a ways away. And traditionally, I don't use this avenue to talk about stuff that has nothing to do with the Packers or football in general. I still want to try and get the nerd chats going about Star Wars and pop culture and all that other stuff that sometimes I get asked about. But I would be remiss with a captive audience here ready to talk some Packers if I didn't remind and or inform the viewers and listeners that are in earshot or viewing me at the moment that this Friday on July 19th, my band's debut album comes out. That's right, Motel Men, Burning Down Wonderland. Ben Gorski and I have been writing songs together since we were like 8, 9 years old. And it's the first album that we've ever put out. And it comes out on Friday. You can find it on Apple Music. You can find it on Spotify. I really hope you'll check it out. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to take up too much time, but I did want to mention it because I have your attention. So I hope you'll take the opportunity to at least take a listen. That's all I ask. And the other thing I ask is to check out our good friends over at Ticket King. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They're based in Wisconsin since 1992. Ticket King is located across the street from Lambeau Field on Oneida. They're happy to help you find just the right tickets for Packers games, from larger groups to single tickets, both home and away. They partner with local Green Bay businesses for tailgating and bus transportation to the games, so you don't have to worry about driving or parking. They're even open on game day for last-minute tickets or possible upgrades. They even have a drive-through window. And if you're not in Green Bay, no problem. Just use the Ticket King link on the Cheesehead TV homepage, on our app, or indeed in the description of this video. Do it, people. Don't use Ticketmaster, StubHub, SeatGeek, none of this national nonsense. Use a company based in Wisconsin since the early 90s, Ticket King, for all your Packers ticket needs. Hello to everybody in the comment section. Hope you're all doing well. Good to see everybody mixing it up. We got a couple people with super chats already, including Ed. What's up, man? You guys played well yesterday. Spain was a team from day one. Your guys in France seem to still be gelling. I very much agree with that assessment, especially considering how poor and lackluster England looked early in the proceedings. And I agree. I think, as the tournament went on, they kind of found their footing, but they were, they being Spain, were absolutely the better side yesterday. No question about it. I mean, I still had a good time. Palmer scored. That's my guys. So it was fun, but yeah, Spain was head and shoulders above England, no doubt. Charlie, thanks for the super chat. Random Packer, Matt Brock. That is a random Packer. I commend you. That's an excellent choice. Nothing wrong with that. Matthew's here. What's up, Matthew? How are you doing from across the pond? Hope you're doing well. Even Nags, last moan. I hate soccer. Never watching it again. The Euros are a joke tournament anyway. Can't wait for the Packers to bring home the Lombardi and real football to start again. Go, Pack, go. I sense that you're kind of licking your wounds as an Englishman. And hey, I get it. It was tough to watch, no doubt about it. But hey, man, I love the Euros. I don't know what you're talking about. Especially, did you watch any of the Copa America, especially last night? I mean, the Euros are head and shoulders above that. So yeah, I mean, I get it. It's no World Cup, nothing is, but I love the Euros, man. That is a great time. Brandy, that's excellent. Brandy says, I thought England should have ran a false nine. Just kidding. Watching Ted Lasso. That's good. That's the way to use the information. That's the way you should do it. I like it. GVTS Spook 1. Thanks for checking out the stream on Twitch and also for participating, because I do get people on Twitch, but they never kind of chat. So thanks for chiming in. Is Capers the best ever Packers defensive coordinator? First year took them from 21st to second ranked defense and also helped win a Super Bowl. I'm always going to defer when it comes to the best ever calling defensive plays, coordinating a defense, putting together a defensive program to Fritz Shurmur. That's just my guy. I love him. I love what he did. And it's interesting because I didn't fall in love with Fritz early on, even though he was outstanding. Watching Fritz Shurmur really educated me as a football fan, and watching how he approached the game and how he utilized personnel and how he utilized Leroy Butler and things like that. So Capers was excellent early. There's no doubt about that. I do think where, it gets tough to defend Dom is the fact that very little changed in regards to, okay, we got to deal with injuries in the modern game. And I work for a GM who is not going to go out and sign big name free agents or veteran players. I'm going to promote from within. I'm going to promote from the practice squad, young, inexperienced guys. Dom did precious little to kind of, I don't know, maybe not spoon feed, but adjust things at least a little bit for these young guys that he was going to be playing not only serious reps and serious minutes, but in important situations in the postseason. I mean, that to me is always going to be Dom's kind of, but I mean, I agree with you. He was outstanding early, no doubt about it. And the fact that the Packers had such a dramatic turnaround early in his tenure speaks well of him. But you'll also notice if you go back and you look at his resume, his kind of career everywhere he went as a coordinator and sometimes as a head coach, early, he did a great job of turning things around. Early on, especially on the defensive side of the ball, things seriously swung in a positive direction. And then a couple years in, 3-4 years in, things started to slide back almost every single time. So I do think, and I'm glad you brought him up because I do think people only remember Capers at the end, and the fact that we got as fans so frustrated with him year after year in the playoffs, really kind of getting worked, right? And I think there's a reason McCarthy kept bringing him back, because I think Mike understood and appreciated, if this was any other general manager in the NFL, they're probably doing a bit more. They're being a little bit more active as far as, acquiring the pieces necessary in the season to make adjustments to the roster that Ted just wasn't down to make. And look, Ted had his reasons, and I'm not, I understand why Ted operated the way he did, but it just seemed like there was always a bit of a disconnect there. And I do think that's kind of the version or the way lots of fans remember Dom. But to your point, I mean, early on, he was excellent. He was outstanding. And the Packers were really, really formidable on defense, and they caused a boatload of turnovers, which hopefully we'll get back to this year because God knows I'm tired of being terrible at taking away the football in Green Bay. Danny G, thanks for being a Care the G Club member. Finally, on the cusp of training camp, lots of banky bait brewing. Speaking of banky bait, thoughts on the kicker situation? I'm fascinated with the fact that they're headed into this week with 3 kickers still on the roster. You know, they made the cut and then they picked somebody up. And I thought for sure we'd get into the week leading up to training camp and we'd have some kind of shuffling there. But as of right now, still 3 kickers on the roster. So we'll see. I mean, good luck getting all those kind of reps in judiciously and fairly and what have you. But I've said it a couple of times. I've said it on Transplants. I'm sure I've said it here on Daily. And I know I talked with Billy about it on Carry the G Radio. To me, this is still set up for Anders Carlson to be the kicker. Like, it would take a monster flame out on his part during camp, like some seriously horrific results during both practices and the preseason games for him to not be their kicker week 1. But we'll see. That's why they have practice. Frank, thanks for checking out the stream on Facebook. Does Ballentine have a shot at making the final roster? Absolutely, because he's a demon on special teams. No question about it. And look, they've got him on the cheap. I mean, he is not on an expensive deal in any way, shape, or form. It's cheap labor, and you need it. And you need it for a roster that is, in a year or two, going to have to start paying people, especially on offense. So he's got that working in his favor. He's got the fact that he's played a ton of reps, for them now, not in this system, not with this scheme, but they know what he's about. He knows how they operate, how they practice, what the program is, what's expected of him. There's value in that, right? And like I said, he's very cheap labor. So, yeah, does he have a shot? Absolutely. Now, is he a lock? In no way, shape, or form. Absolutely not. But I do think he's a bit of a forgotten name, right? Because you do hear so much about Stokes and Valentine, and that battle for the second cornerback spot. And then Kalen King gets mentioned. Rookies always have a little bit of shine to him. I think Valentine gets kind of lost in the mix, so to speak. But, I mean, you talk about a dime back coming in and giving you some serious minutes throughout the season and being able to throw him out there on a number of different special teams. Yeah, I think he's got a better than a decent. I think he's got a very good shot making the final or initial 53. Joey, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Time to get the Badgers the natty in college football 25. There you go. Although the Badgers, that's a pretty major program. Somebody needs to tell me, is Lawrence University available? That's who I want to take to a championship. I'm going to get Lawrence University and make them a powerhouse. Andrew, what's up, man? I'm an Argentina fan, so I'm on cloud 9. As you should be. They always find that bit of excellence, right? That's who they are. That's who they've always been throughout the course of the last 10, 15 years. They're a powerhouse. And the fact that, oh, man, watching Messi go down the way he did and then on the sideline just bawling, seeing Messi in tears, knowing that he can't help and that there's a decent chance this is the last Copa he'll ever play in, and he's not going to be able to be out there for whatever the result might have ended up being, which, of course, ended up as an Argentina win. That's some dramatic stuff. That was hard to watch. No question about it. Sam, thanks for checking out the stream. Thanks for the super chat. Random Packer legend Sam Congato. See, does Sam Congato rise to the level of random? I don't know. I think every Packers fan knows the legend of Sam Congato, but I hear you. Single-handedly blew our number 1 overall pick potential, LOL. Kind of. I don't think it was all on Sam Con, though. David, this comment could only come from Facebook. Be careful in Brazil, Nags. Not hearing the best things. David, I'm begging you to get off Facebook. Just go outside. Breathe the fresh air. I'm going to be fine. Everyone going to Brazil, going to be fine. Let's go. We're going to have a meetup the night before the game. It's going to be a lot of fun. You should come, David. Join us. In the meantime, get off Facebook, dude. Joe, what's up? Thanks for the super chat. Copa America is like us with fireworks on the 4th of July when we were kids. That's not bad, Joe. That's pretty decent. Ed, thanks again, man. Aside from a missed handball penalty that will live forever as one of the worst calls in the history of all sports, it was a pretty good Euros. I know we've talked about this already. Oh, are we just going to ignore the foul that Tony Cruz had at the top of the box that went uncalled? It goes both ways, sir. It goes both ways. Matthew, thanks again. Ted Lasso for England manager. Very sour, hungover grapes for me today. Wicks is my wide receiver who is really going to jump this season. Wyatt on defense. Go, Pack, go. I think Wyatt is the consensus on defense, right? But Wicks, it's interesting because I think a lot of people are earmarking him as far as, oh, he's been so productive, right? Like you look at his numbers, just the metrics from his rookie year, given how little he played, the limited opportunities he had, when he was utilized, he was super effective, right? I just wonder how he gets on the field and in the mix with regularity. I mean, we're talking about what? More 2 tight end sets, right? Because they've got these really promising young tight ends. We've got Christian Watson, hopefully having a year where he's not on the sideline for half the season with injury. Well, you've got Jaden Reed, who seriously is basically a target machine game to game, week to week. So at some point, it's like there's just only one football. There's a lot of mouths that got to be fed. So I'm with you on Wicks. I think he's got the potential, and the upside is certainly there. But man, it's a good problem to have, as Coach would always say. But yeah, it's just hard for me to see a path to Wicks getting a ton of work and a ton of opportunity outside of injuries occurring other places. Which, hey, it's the NFL. Certainly bound to happen at some point. What else we got here, folks? Christian's Tube. What a handle. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate you. I'm attending a wedding in Green Bay for my fiance's family the day after the Pack wins in Brazil. I like your style, sir. Which bar/grills have good game-like atmosphere to watch on Friday that will convert my soon-to-be in-laws? Random Packer, Brad Lee. Brad Lee, what a pull. So a wedding in Green Bay. Well, they're the usual suspects, Stadium view is probably the default in that regard if you're talking like game day like atmosphere. But it'll be insane, probably packed. I'm sure people in the comment section will have a better handle on when the Packers are playing away. Since I don't live in Green Bay, I generally am not out and about in Green Bay watching the Packers. But if someone in the comments would like to chime in, that's great. But I will say stadium view, it's pretty dope. And if stadium view is too much, you can go across the street to Anduzzi's. I would opine if you really want an intimate kind of setting, I go to Nikki's Lionhead in De Pere. That's old school throwback, like my grandpa's living room style bar. And I think in the front, not in the back, but in the front, I believe they have a television. Yes, a television. It's a throwback, but that's a cool spot. That is a very cool spot. But like I said, hopefully someone in the comments section can steer you in the right direction. Jeezy Baby, what's up, man? Time to retire my NCAA 14 revamped franchise and bring FIU back to promised land in NCAA College Football 25. Random Packer, Xavier McKinney. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. I like it. Brandy, thanks for the super chat. Aaron Brooks or Matt Flynn a better QB? Wow, what a question from Brandy. Brandy just throwing bombs out here in the chat. Wow, I'm honestly going to go with Aaron Brooks. I don't doubt for a moment that Matt Flynn will garner a lot of nostalgic attention / votes from the chatters here. But overall, as a quarterback, I think Aaron Brooks. I think Brooks kind of proved that when he was a starter, comparative to what Matt Flynn went on to do as a starter in the league, which obviously didn't last very long. But Brooks, don't ever forget it, man. Brooks was the starting quarterback for a top 5 offense with one young Mike McCarthy as his offensive coordinator down in New Orleans. So, yeah, I think both of them have their good points and bad points. But between the two, I'll take Aaron Brooks, no doubt. Now we got people telling David to fly out to Brazil. I like it. I like it, people. Atomic Hound says De Pere has several great spots, including Nikki's and Abbey Bar. Oh, Abbey. The Abbey. Outstanding. You could, if Nikki's doesn't work, go to the Abbey. That is where I met like half the Packers roster back in the day. early days of Cheesehead TV when the team still stayed at St. Norbert. Kyle Cousineau used to bartend out there. It's where I met Tom Crabtree. It's where I met Matt Flynn, actually, speaking of Matt Flynn. Yeah. Oh, the Abbey's great. The Abbey's outstanding. Did they hold on to Jerry Gray for too long? A lot of draft capital expended with nothing to show for it. It's a good question, Soder, and I get why you draw the line, but you know what I'm going to say, right? It's really hard to make a determination when it comes to assistant coaches, simply because we're so in the dark when it comes to what it is they're actually, A, being asked to do, and B, doing, right? It's like I sense that I'm going to feel better now that Jerry Montgomery's not in Green Bay because of the kind of ironclad way he ran the defensive line, the substitution patterns, the fact that he would continuously send Dean Lowry out there over a rookie Devontae Wyatt, things like that. It's like I sense that and I feel that in my bones, but I don't know. We don't really know what they're actually, again, being tasked with by the head coach and or what they're saying in front of the guys or what drills they're asking them to do or what, points of emphasis they're making day in and day out in the classroom and on the practice field. So, I mean, did they? I don't know, man. It's always interesting to me to kind of read between the lines when you look at Gray's media availability when he was in Green Bay. Always did feel like and maybe, sensed a little bit of friction between him and Joe Barry. But that's just guesswork on our part, right? I've never seen any kind of real reporting around that, nothing concrete for certain, and certainly haven't heard anything on the grapevine. So, it's very, very hard to see. Daniel on Facebook, God bless you. Maybe might want to be careful in your apartment, Nags. I'm hearing you might stub your toe. Let's be nice. I'm just like, I'm so sick of it's so dangerous in Brazil. I live in New York City, for God's sakes. First time I ever came to New York was pre-Giuliani. I'm ready. I'm like, whatever Brazil is, I'm fine. I'm going to go have a good time. I'm going to watch the Packers kick ass, and that's all I'm there to do. I'm going to fly in. I'm going to go to my hotel. I'm going to have our meetup. I'm going to go see the game. I'm going back to the hotel. I'm going to go back to the airport. I'm going to fly home. It's going to be a ton of fun. I hope you guys will join in because God knows. It's football season, baby. Let's go. All right, everybody. I'm going to have to get going. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day. Hey, before I go, speaking of football, be sure, because I see none of you have, be sure you check out my interview with the Green Bay Blizzards head coach. That was a good time. You talk about ball. We talked some ball. It was a good time. They have a playoff game coming up on July 26th that I believe I'm going to be in attendance for. That's right. I fly in the 25th. I'm going to attend my first Packers practice that morning on the 26th. And then that evening, I'm going to go watch the Green Bay Blizzard win a playoff game. And if you want to do so, make sure you check out that video. There's a link in the description of it, or you can purchase your Green Bay Blizzard playoff tickets, which I believe are like $7. Come on now. Come on. Let's go. Let's make the Resch Center a party zone and watch the Blizzard kick some ass. They have the number one defense in the IFL. I mean, when's the last time we could cheer on a number one defense in Green Bay? It's been a while. I believe since 1996. So you want to do that again? Go watch the Blizzard in the playoffs. It's going to be a ton of fun. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. I'll see you tomorrow. And hey, who knows? If Jordan Love signs his deal and there's some kind of announcement tonight, I might go live, though I doubt it because I'm going to be busy. But I will put some content out. Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Go Pack Go.